the Allfather's thirst for knowledge. Odin, the Allfather, was the most powerful of the gods, ruling over Asgard and the mighty Aesir. He was a warrior, a king, a traveler, and a sorcerer. He had built the great halls of Valhalla, where fallen warriors feasted until the end of time. He had led his people to countless victories, striking fear into the hearts of giants and men alike. But despite his strength, despite his power, Odin was never satisfied. He knew that power alone was not enough to rule wisely or to prepare for the inevitable Ragnarok, the prophesied end of all things. He had already sacrificed much in his quest for wisdom. Once, he had traveled to Mimir's well, where the wisest of all beings, Mimir, guarded the waters of knowledge. There, Odin had given up one of his own eyes in exchange for a single sip from the well. Yet even with all he had learned, he knew there was more. He had heard whispers of the runes, the ancient and mystical symbols that held the power of magic, fate, and ultimate understanding. The runes were not just writing, they were the key to shaping reality, to wielding spells, to commanding the very forces of the cosmos. But the runes would not reveal themselves to just anyone. They demanded a sacrifice. And so, Odin prepared to offer himself, not to another god, not to any external force, but to himself. The climb to Yggdrasil. Odin knew that to reach the runes, he would have to undergo a trial greater than any he had ever faced. His path led him to Yggdrasil, the great world tree that connected all of existence. Its roots stretched into the dark and misty underworld of Hell, while its branches reached high into the heavens above Asgard. It was the axis of the universe, a bridge between worlds, a living entity older than even the gods themselves. At the heart of Yggdrasil, in a sacred place where few dared to tread, Odin prepared himself. He grasped Gungnir, his legendary spear, and with a steady hand, thrust it into his own side. The blade pierced his flesh, and warm blood ran down his robes, staining the sacred bark of the tree. Then, with no hesitation, Odin tied a noose around his neck. He climbed upon the highest branch and, with one final step, cast himself from the tree, hanging between the heavens and the earth. The ordeal, 9 nights of suffering. For 9 long days and 9 even longer nights, Odin hung upon Yggdrasil. He was utterly alone. The gods of Asgard did not come to save him. The Valkyries, his loyal warriors, did not descend to rescue him. He was not given food, nor drink, nor rest. The winds howled around him, the stars burned overhead, and beneath him stretched the yawning abyss of Ginnungagap, the primordial void from which the universe had been born. His body was racked with pain. The spear wound throbbed, and the noose bit into his throat, choking him, making every moment an agony. His muscles ached, his vision blurred, and his thoughts drifted between waking and unconsciousness. He began to see visions, glimpses of the past, the present, and the future all at once. He saw the great wolf Fenrir, bound but waiting for his inevitable escape. He saw Thor standing against the Midgard serpent in their final battle. He saw flames consuming Asgard, the end of all things, but he did not cry out. He did not beg for mercy. He did not falter. Only those who endured the greatest pain could claim the greatest wisdom. The revelation of the runes. As the 9th night neared its end, Odin's body was on the brink of death. His soul teetered between the world of the living and the world of the dead, and then, at last, the runes appeared before him. They glowed in the darkness, shimmering with an ancient power. Their shapes were woven into the very fabric of reality, forming the secret language of the cosmos itself. Odin, despite his suffering, reached out with his mind, with his spirit, and seized them. In that instant, the runes revealed their secrets to him. He understood their meanings, their power, their ability to shape the world. He learned how to carve them into weapons to make them stronger. How to whisper them into the wind to command fate, how to heal the wounded and curse his enemies. The knowledge filled him like a rushing river, washing away his pain, his weakness, his mortality. He cried out in triumph, and with a mighty effort, he broke free from the noose and fell from the tree. Rebirth as the god of wisdom. Odin hit the ground, but he did not remain fallen. He rose, not as a mere war god, not as a simple ruler of the Aesir, but as the master of wisdom and magic, the keeper of the runes, the god of knowledge and fate. his sacrifice had been accepted, his trial completed. He had given up his blood, his breath, his very life, but in return, he had gained something far greater. From that day forward, Odin shared the wisdom of the runes with mankind, teaching them the ways of magic, poetry, and war. The runes became a gift to the world, a tool for those who sought knowledge, power, and destiny. But Odin himself never stopped seeking wisdom. For though he had won the knowledge of the runes, he knew that the universe was vast and full of mysteries yet undiscovered. He would continue to wander the worlds, disguised as a traveler, a beggar, a poet, always searching, always learning, for the true price of wisdom is that it can never be complete. The lesson of the Allfather, Odin's sacrifice upon Yggdrasil, is a tale of pain and enlightenment, of suffering and reward. It is a lesson to gods and men alike that wisdom is not given freely. It must be earned through hardship, through trials, through sacrifice. It is a reminder that knowledge is the most powerful force of all, greater than strength, greater than wealth, greater than even the gods themselves, and so, Odin the Allfather, the one-eyed wanderer, the master of runes, remains forever in pursuit of wisdom, for the quest for knowledge is never-ending. Conclusion: this story is one of the most powerful myths in Norse mythology, showcasing Odin's relentless hunger for wisdom and his willingness to sacrifice anything, even himself, to attain it. It also explains the origins of runes, which the Vikings and Norse people believed held magical and divine power. The deeper meaning of Odin's sacrifice on Yggdrasil is more than just a tale of suffering and triumph. It carries profound lessons that resonate with gods, warriors, and everyday people alike. The story conveys several powerful messages. 1. True wisdom requires sacrifice. Odin, despite being the ruler of the gods, was willing to endure extreme pain and suffering in his relentless pursuit of knowledge. His sacrifice teaches us that wisdom is never given freely, it must be earned through hardship, experience, and perseverance. Lesson for the audience: knowledge and mastery in any field, whether in life, work, or art, comes at a price. Growth often requires stepping out of our comfort zones, enduring struggles, and making sacrifices. 2. Learning is a lifelong journey. Even after gaining the runes, Odin did not stop seeking wisdom. He continued to wander the worlds, always searching, always learning. Despite his power, he understood that there was always more to know. Lesson for the audience: no matter how much we know, there is always more to learn. We should approach life with curiosity and humility, always seeking new experiences and perspectives. 3. Strength alone is not enough. Odin was not the strongest god, that title belonged to Thor. But it was wisdom, not brute force, that made Odin the true ruler of Asgard. He understood that intelligence, strategy, and knowledge shape destiny more than sheer strength ever could. Lesson for the audience: intelligence, wisdom, and strategic thinking are just as important, if not more, than physical power. Success in life is not just about strength, but also about understanding, adaptation, and making the right decisions. 4. Pain is a teacher, not an enemy. Odin embraced suffering because he knew that great knowledge could only come through struggle. Pain, hardship, and challenges were not obstacles to avoid, but lessons to learn from. Lesson for the audience: challenges and hardships make us stronger and wiser. Instead of avoiding difficulties, we should face them head-on and grow from them. 5. The power of writing and knowledge. The runes, which Odin won through his suffering, were not just symbols but the key to language, communication, and magic. In Norse belief, writing and knowledge had the power to shape reality itself. Lesson for the audience: words, stories, and knowledge have incredible power. They can heal, inspire, and transform the world. Writing and learning are sacred gifts that connect us to the wisdom of the past and the possibilities of the future. Conclusion: the legacy of Odin's sacrifice. Odin's story is a reminder that true wisdom, success, and understanding come only through effort, hardship, and a willingness to sacrifice for greater knowledge. For those who listen to this tale, the message is clear: if you seek wisdom, be prepared to pay the price. If you desire greatness, be ready to endure hardship. And if you want to shape your destiny, never stop learning.